Extra rotation on that backhand. Team China coming into this match leading 3-0 right now. Team Hong Kong, China, looking to get as many games as they can to extend their lifeline here. Beautiful parallel forehand. The receive game, you need so much quality to cause trouble against Kuai. That'll be something for Chengzhu to figure out along the way. A little break off the net as this one dribbles over, slows way down. Now the 3 times that they've played before, 2 of them were in 2022. Most recently was not far away. It was the ITTF Men's and Women's World Cup in Macau 2025, where Kuai won 3-1. Hasn't dropped a point here yet, though. She's only dropped 1 game total across 3 meetings.
Okay. Love.
Now, every point matters in every individual game. And in an overall team match, this is not elimination. You're taking as many points as you possibly can. Beautiful bottle challenge serve deep to the backhand here. Kuai, as a left-handed player, is facing a mirror. Left-handed players tend to have an advantage in table tennis, as there's a backhand where there would normally be a forehand and vice versa. You could argue that it's simply that they're more rare to get experience against. You don't encounter a left-handed player as often as a righty. So even left-handed players struggle against lefties. Nice long serve. A kicker, side and top spin right to the baseline, and Chengzhu on the scoreboard now. Still a long way to go. Forehand flick is so tough to execute, and Kuai very calmly, patiently does this. The feet, the way that left foot gets 2 steps in.
Left. Eight, 1.
The exchange here at this point had so much going on. In my head, I'm watching this as the percentages constantly change with every single shot. Kuai took a long time to give up a little bit of space on the table. All that is credit to Chengzhu. I could watch replays of the point before this. Chengzhu was in self-defense mode for most of that point, but there's a little bit more going on there. 2 different mindsets at work here. First mindset, get to the ball, survive. Second mindset, now that I've done that, how do I make the shot that much more powerful or effective against my opponent? It doesn't have to be powerful in a literal sense. It can be placement, positioning, change of pace, anything to get your opponent off balance.
10-3.
That said, Kuai right now with 7 game points to take this first. Chengzhu handling the side spin and that side swiping push very well. Not bothered. Again, an infinite amount of axes possible for spins on the ball. But this time it's Kuai 11-4. She closes the door with the score you see. Chengzhu down 0-1 in games. And a nice tight serve here. Again, competitors who've been playing for a long time sometimes still are just discovering the half-long serve. And the half-long serve is 80% of the serves at this level. I think it skews slightly lower with younger players. Younger players often love to get into the fast exchanges, the rally. As demonstrated by Kuai here with that long serve. I'm not keeping stats, but I bet if you do at home, you'd probably find a higher percentage of long serves from Kuai than others. Good defense for the briefest of moments, but it comes down a bit shallow, and Chengzhu is able to take advantage. Chinese setup there on that blade. The ball barely bounces off that forehand, the hard sponge. But a quality backhand inside the table. Kuai is a very bubbly, socially person. If you have a chance to talk to her, she's as friendly as can be, but when it comes to business, you've got one job. And Team China makes that as clear as can be. I think there are a lot of misunderstandings. While the pressure for Team China is greater than any other association playing in the game, there's still a sense of care. Yeah, there's tough love sometimes, but we've seen timeouts and heard timeouts where Ma Lin is incredibly gentle. That's sort of the way he runs.
4-3.
And we've seen just the same, even though Wang Hao is a little bit more intense, we've seen him be gentle with people because his job is to get the best performance out of his players as possible. It'll break off the net here to extend her lead to 2, but a much different scoreline than we saw in game 1, where Chengzhu was down 0-7. Still managed to get 4 points, changing the proportions, the ratio there of scoring.
3-6.
Service game strong, that shovel serve. Remember, we do have TTR here. That's probably one of the most common offenders of ball visibility.
6.
Nice change up at the start of the serve. Players sometimes will move around before they serve just to cause a little bit of confusion for the receiver. Give them something different to deal with. Change up the pattern of play.
7.
Galliang indeed. Bottle challenge deep to the backhand, shuts down the Chiquita. If you're moving in for the backhand on the forehand side, but you have to get to the deep backhand corner, that is a lot of work.
5,
But she does not
7.
lie down. Chengzhu, crazy to think that she's currently world number 143, and she's contending with world number 4. She was down 3-4 a few points ago. She's very much in this game out of the second towel break. And a break off the net, and suddenly it's the difference of 1 point. Nervous head scratching from Ma Lin. Encouragement from Xia and Wang Yidi. Deep push, the patterns.
All.
So it is tied up at 7 points apiece now. After game number 1 being down 0-7. You might not have expected this. This is resilience and maturity. But a beautiful swift backhand here. One that was much needed by the player who's leading 7-4 before the last 3 points were taken against her. Confidence is an incredibly important ingredient to add to your mix when you're at the table. It allows you freedom, belief to play your game, to stay loose. Kuai finding that. Oh, what a flick! Side swiper here. Chengzhu able to deliver this ball like nobody's business, and it's a timeout on Kuai side. Very close.
8.
Tightens up potentially a little bit, or chooses to play it soft here. But after the flick, her forehand flick game has been wonderful. I think the idea is right. It doesn't miss by much. But it's 2 game points for Kuai. Well placed, a little bit more towards the middle of the table than the wide forehand here, which shuts down that big forehand from Kuai. Forces her to jam up a little bit. Charming smile from Xu Yingbin after the words of Didi. And the serve sits up just a little bit. Chengzhu in a wonderful position here after a much tighter game number 2 than game number 1. The idea is right.
Love.
From a planning standpoint, Chengzhu, that's just a question of wrist agility and very fine margins. Kuai with wonderful pressure.
1. all.
Team Hong Kong, China, yet to get a game on the scoreboard.
One, two.
And I don't think they'll be the only team to be in that position against Team China, the defending champs. Kuai did a wonderful job on a slow, spinny ball to move way in and guide it and still regain her balance, her placement just behind the table. But Chengzhu, strong in the rally. Timing, balance.
3, 2.
I glanced over 2 tables in action here. And on one of them there was an interesting lob that caught an edge. Is why the crowd gasped. Now we're talking, looking for some of the same, but it carries long.
3, all.
Kuai getting some influence from table number 2 in real time. Again, getting behind the table is wonderful for the spectators, but for the player, typically not to your advantage. Overwhelmingly not what you want to do, especially in the women's game. That said, if you can do it well in the women's game, lobs are also a little bit more effective.
4,
Mainly because
3.
the average height is that much less, so overhead shots are that much tougher. It takes a lot of strength out of the shoulder and the body. Also, the women's game is more about speed, staying closer to the table, rhythm. Kuai with some good misdirection here, but earns herself a little bit of height so that Chengzhu has to back up, retreat from the table. Then it's just a question of extension, quick reaction, anticipating the best you can. Anticipation comes from experience, recognizing patterns.
Please change, please change.
A timeout now, they will change sides. Cracking forehand, calibrating perfectly to the top spin that comes in. It's interesting to see how stress affects the Chinese bench. Everybody reacting a little bit differently, but looking uncomfortable.
6, 5.
Of course, the score line is going to be a big indicator for that. Chengzhu with 2 points out of the timeout. Very tight game number 2. It's a good setup.
6, all.
This feeling of when you know what you want to do, but you know that your opponent knows what you want to do, that's tricky. Because it makes you second guess a little bit. It makes you tighten up a little bit. It puts that much more pressure to deliver some element of surprise. Some wonderful recoveries here from Kuai. Chengzhu able to capitalize on the fortune, stay in position after that net ball. And then the high arcing spin, just a little bit of height, allows more placement, as we saw the apology from Chengzhu.
8,
well handled receive there for a reverse pendulum serve. Remember, no timeouts left. Just to put things into context, Chengzhu has won 1 game out of 3 matches against Kuai. And right now the entire team is counting on her for that 1 point on the scoreboard. Could be the difference between advancing or not advancing in your group. Again,
7,
from time to time, Chengzhu does not go to the wide corners when it's anticipated. It's a good time to give the opponent something else. Recognizing what the opponent is expecting is the first step to surprising them. And I like this idea from Chengzhu. If that ball comes down, it's going to be trouble. It's Kuai within 1 point. Big second serve to come.
Let 8, 9.
it's 2 game points for Ju
10,
Chengzhu.
8.
Again, the stress, the shifting in the seats from the captains of Team China. Variation, right under and side spin. The amount of spin that any pro can generate is unbelievable, but they can take it away like a cell phone in a classroom in the blink of an eye.
10, 9.
Or a game point to the other side. Kuai saves one. Lam Su-hong coming in. Again, the bench is really behind their players here. We saw a game point for Team Hong Kong China earlier. And she takes it. Ju Chengzhu puts a dent in the record. This is a big win. I just got a look from Yenan.